Okay, you guys, welcome. We'll jump right into it. Want to start our Zoom off with that song because I freaking love it, and every time I hear it, I think of the millionaires walking across the conference stage, and it just kills me. So, hold on, Kaitlyn, are you unmuted yet?
Yes.
You're good to go. Okay. I am so excited about this Zoom. I have been bugging Kaitlyn forever because she seriously is rock star. Like, I met Kaitlyn for the first time at conference. I was a double diamond, she was a triple diamond, and I was just like, girl, I need to be you. She's just so sweet, and she honestly is just like the one thing that I wish I had of Kaitlyn's is she's just so inspiring. Like when you listen to you talk, I just feel so inspired, and I feel like you have a little bit of all the colors in you, which I really love. And Kaitlyn is amazing at signing distributors. The one thing I wanted her to come on here and just pour into us about was how she signs her distributors for $99, and she would literally rather them pay the full cost than when we have $20 codes, half off codes, and all those things. So Kaitlyn, freaking take it away, girlfriend, and just tell us your story. You have a great story, and how you go about signing your distributors, why you like them at the full cost, and where you're going, because I'm excited for you, girl. I can't wait to hear you talk.
You're gonna make me cry, man. All right. Okay, well, my name is Kaitlyn. So I'm 23. I joined this business almost 2 years ago, so I've been 21. And me and my boyfriend got pregnant unexpectedly. So we got our first maternity leave check, and it was literally $400. So couldn't pay my bills. I couldn't pay my rent. Like, his family was helping me out. Like, literally couldn't afford anything. And being an unexpected mom on top of it was like the worst feeling in the world, because like I had always wanted a little girl, and I literally like bawled the day I found out she was a girl, because like that's all I ever wanted. But then she got here, and I literally couldn't afford the clothes I wanted to get her, the toys. Like, I was having to say no to everything and like ask people to get her stuff, and I hated that because I wanted to spoil her, right? Like, I just wanted to give her like everything, and I couldn't. And so the day that we got our first check, and I like couldn't buy anything, like it was gone the second I got it, like was one of the lowest feelings in the world. And the exact same day, I saw my upline Jackie post on Facebook, and she had earned a $30,000 bonus or something crazy like that. And her post was about how she was staying home with her boy full time and had just earned this huge bonus. And there was no other thoughts in my head besides like, this was meant to be. And if she's doing this, like, I had no excuses. Like, if this woman's doing it, I'm going to do it too. And I put it on my credit card. I signed up. I literally texted her all my info without even like asking questions about the business. And she makes fun of me for it to this day. It's like, sent her my SIN number, everything. Had no idea who she was, but it was the best thing I've ever done. And I jumped in so hard. Like, I was just in the mentality of like, if there's people out there doing this, like, I really didn't care like about any of the struggles of like having to like go I don't know, like having to learn it. It didn't bother me. I just took posts that I saw her doing and like other people I started following in the business, and just started copying them and just like obviously making it my own. But I literally just learned as I go. Like, I didn't ask her questions before joining, but then when I did join, didn't even watch the video she had sent me. about like training, which I'm not recommending. Like, I'm not saying to do that, but like I was just so in the moment of being like, that's fine, like I don't need those videos, like I'm just gonna do what she's doing. And that's what I did. I just started changing up the posts and just going right from there. And I got her help with messaging, and I just copy and paste them into notes so that I knew how to talk to people. And I just went hard, and we went diamond month 4. Well, first thing that happened was I went emerald, and then literally 2 days later was conference, and I wasn't at conference because I could not afford it yet. And they announced the emerald bonus, and I was just like, I hate to say it, but I was so beside myself because I was like, I did this 2 days ago, and now there's this bonus. And I remember I was on Sarah Rankin's live, and she was like talking to me through it because I commented, and I was like, oh my God, I just went emerald. And she was like, no, Kaitlyn, you got it, you earned it. Like, they're backdating it. And I literally bawled. Like, I was in like fetal position, like bawling on the floor. And that was when like everything changed for my business, because I was like, I will never forget that feeling of earning my first bonus. And we went so hard. The next month we went diamond and earned a $5,000 bonus for that, because at that time it was the Go Fast bonuses. So I missed it by like a month or something, got like half of it still, which like I did not care. I was beside myself again. And it just lit the biggest fire in me ever. We went double like 2 months after going diamond, and that month changed everything for my family, because the month we went double, James had told me that if I could make the same amount with this business that I was making at my job, that I could quit. And so when we earned this bonus, I sent in a message that same day to my boss, and I quit my job. And we put a down payment onto a house. We moved into our new house that same day, all in one day. Like, we'd kind of seen it coming. So we like applied for this house, even though we didn't have the money yet. But that day we earned the bonus, and we moved into the house. And it was just the most unreal thing, because we were in like the smallest condo. Like, we didn't fit in that condo. Like, we would have friends come over and make jokes about how like it was like messy and we needed to clean, and I would just like laugh it off. But like, it wasn't messy. We just had nowhere to put anything because it was tiny. We had a baby, like it was brutal. And then now we're in like this big, beautiful home. We have a swimming pool. It's like 5 bedrooms. Like, literally, to put it into perspective, our garage now is bigger square footage than our condo was, because that's like what we were living in with our family. And it was so small, and it was just the most unreal feeling to like see all this happening. And then I went triple. When did I go triple? 5 months after double, I believe. So it was on my 13th month. I went triple, earned another huge bonus. And it's crazy to me, because one thing that like when I joined, my boyfriend said to me, because he was not a supporter, and I make sure to tell all my potentials that, because so many of them were like, well, I can't because my husband's not supportive, like he thinks this is like a joke, or like it's a scam. And I was like, yeah, my boyfriend told me that too. He literally told me I would never make money with this, but he always joked because he didn't think it was serious, and he'd be like, well, if you go diamond, I'll let you sign me up. Well, the day I went diamond, I signed him up. And on his exact 1 year anniversary, his 1 year anniversary in the business, I got him to triple diamond. So it's so crazy to me how like people can prove people right. Like, if your boyfriend is telling you that you're not going to make money, why would you just say like, okay, and not do it then? Like, that blows my mind. If somebody is telling you you can't do it, prove them wrong. Like, that is literally all that I could think about when he said that was, okay, well, it sucks to think that, like, I'm gonna do it anyways, like, prove them freaking wrong. Yeah. Do you have like specific questions about signing distributors that you want me to answer?
Honestly, not really, but your story's freaking insane. Seriously, I just love it. So no, basically what, like, for me personally, what I like to listen to is the reason. First of all, I like listening to the reason why you like to sign people full price rather than using a code, because the fact of the matter is, with new distributors especially, signing distributors is really hard. Loyal customers sometimes come more naturally to people, and then there's that think like, oh, I wish they would like give us another code, or how can we get people to sign up, because no one wants to sign up because it's too expensive. So maybe touching base on that and what your thoughts of that are, and how do you go about, because I know how you do because I've asked you, but how do you go about getting your distributors because you are a massive roller in distributors. I remember when I didn't know who you were, and I was like, what the hell? Who is this Kaitlyn and Jackie who are number one in like Alberta, or no, it was like, they like give you a listing of top 10. It's like Angela, Jackie, it's like for province. I was like, who are these girls? Like, I never heard of them, and I gotta up my game for the love of God. And I was like, what the hell? And I remember messaging Karina, and I was like, who is Kaitlyn? Who? Like, I need to keep up with this girl. So if you could like give us your input on how you do it, you know, what is your go-to for getting distributors? Maybe even some input on like what you talk to them about, like what do you tell them type deal. And if anyone has questions on like what they want her to, or Kaitlyn to touch base on, put them in the comments, and we can touch on those after she's, you know, said what she wants to say.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so to touch base on the $99 kits first, my mentality with that is that, like, obviously more people sign up when it's $20, $30, like whatever those deals are. But the people who genuinely want this opportunity, that like take what you're telling them seriously and like want to change their life with this, will not care if it's $10, $20, $50, or $100. They are going to go get that $99 because of like how you changed your life. If you are properly like telling your story and like feeding like inspiration to them, they will go get that $99, whether they have to sell stuff, whether they have to put it on a credit card, like a savings account, borrow money from somebody. Like, the right person for you will find the $99 if they're serious about it. And so that's just my mentality of it. So when you're new, I'm just reading that. Okay, so what I did when I started is just lifestyle posts right away. And you just need to talk about your goals. So even if you haven't had a single paycheck yet, just talk about why you joined. Like, why did you jump into this opportunity? What is it going to do for you? Because if you jump in right away and you just start saying things like, I'm going to go Ruby, like it's been 1 month and I'm almost Ruby already. I'm almost averaging 500 a month. Like, even if you're not there yet, you're saying almost, you're not lying to anybody, but they're seeing this and they're like, oh man, like she's almost making $500 a month her first month. Like, I want to get in on that. And from you talking about it, people jump in. Well, now guess what? Now you are Ruby making 500 a month. So now you can up those stories and be like, well, now I'm almost Emerald. Now I'm almost averaging 1,200 a month. Now I'm going to go Diamond. Like, you might not even be boxed for Emerald yet. I sure wasn't when I started talking about Diamond, but I talked about Diamond every single day, telling people like Diamond is going to change your life. Like, I will go Diamond. Like, I am so close to going Diamond and earning a $10,000 bonus. And because I talked about it every day, people wanted in because they wanted to earn that bonus too. And because of me telling my story and saying that every single day, well, guess what? I went Diamond and I earned that bonus. So all that matters, like, it doesn't matter if you've earned any paychecks or any bonuses or anything like that. Just talk about where you want to go and like what it's going to do and like what bonuses you're going to get. Like, just keep speaking life into your stories and telling people where you think you're going with this. Because they will relate even if you haven't hit it yet, and they will want to be part of it, and it will make those goals happen. And what I do is like, my story is everywhere. So like every day there's a lifestyle post, and with my full story at least every like few days on top of that. So like that, by that I mean like a lifestyle post that includes like my whole story, not just like a basic lifestyle post. But I also have my story in like pictures, and I like highlighted them to the top of my Facebook and Instagram. So at any point when you go to my Facebook, the first thing you see is a thing that says my story, and it's like the slideshow of my story, as well as I took a YouTube video of me telling my story, and that's what I use as my website on Instagram too. So when you go to my Instagram, the linked website is a YouTube video, and people are super curious, right? So if they see your profile, they're like, why does she have like a YouTube video in here? That's so weird, because they think it's gonna be something random, right? But it's you telling your story. And the amount of people that message me and they're like, wow, I didn't even mean to click on that, but like now I'm really interested, like all the time, because people like are nosy, right? Like, I don't mean that in a rude way. Like, they want to see like what video you have on your Instagram. And so the amount of people that end up watching it without even like being interested in watching it, like, it's so crazy. Yeah. Telling you send messages. So I've recently started messaging for distributors, but I did not until like a month ago. It's all from just telling my stories like so frequently and so consistently. I recently, like just this month, started doing host to post for distributors on top of it, just because I wanted to see what happens if I like completely up it by like 100, and like it is working really well. I'm not gonna lie. But I definitely did not use that to get to where I am. So I don't think messaging for distributors is like a necessity, as long as you are consistent with telling your story though. Like you can't not do both. But you can get to like wherever you want to go by like telling your story over and over and over and over again. When did you start mass enrolling? Honestly, like I did start, I think I signed my first month. What did I do? I signed my mom, one of my best friends, and somehow it was a random person off Instagram that was like my third distributor. But it was because like right from day one, I started saying like why I joined, right? So I signed a few right away. And it honestly just started going up from there, because like I did not take time to learn what I was doing, honestly. I jumped into this and without even knowing what I was doing, just started telling people why I was doing this. I started posting like the day I realized that I was on low income assistance, like cried about it for a little bit, but then realized, okay, like I'm going to tell people that. I signed a ton of people when I started getting like real with them and telling them like I am literally broke and that this is why I'm doing this business. And people relate to that. So like even being honest with them, and like it doesn't matter if you're making big money now, but telling them where you're at and like why you're doing this, like you have no idea how many people will relate to that and be inspired by that, and they'll just want to go with you to where you're going. So I tell my story so often, like in my posts, like at least every like 2 to 3 days. But then like I said, it's highlighted. And anytime I'm talking to a potential, if they have like if they try to tell me that like it's not going to work, or like I have no money, I get like pretty red with them. I'm going to be honest. Like I just tell them like, no, I ask them, I'm like, okay, if they say they're not going to make money or they're going to lose money, but like, well, are you planning to work the business? And they're like, well, yeah. I'm like, well, then how would you lose money? You know, like I just make them think about it. Because if they're like, and I tell them my story in voice notes if I have to. And I just tell them like, I can help you do this because I have done this. So I know that we can like make this happen for you. And I just like put down any objection they have and just tell them my story and how I did it. And it just makes people feel so comfortable with talking to you, especially if you do it in voice notes, because I don't know, a lot of like actual scams aren't going to take time to send you a voice note, right? It'll be some like written up thing that they send you. So what I do is I just voice note like as much as my story as I have to be honest, to get them to trust me. And it does make them trust you. I was wording for, okay. So I think I have sent, oh frick, I got my Facebook got deleted today, so I can't even send it over Messenger. I'll see if it'll send over Instagram to Angela. But basically, so when somebody tells me they're interested, the first thing I say is, have you ever heard of It Works Global? And 99% of the time they say no. And so I have this paragraph that I send that's just like, oh, okay, awesome. Well, it is super vague. It's like, okay, so you don't have to go anywhere. It's all from social media. We don't keep inventory. Like, it's just all like the pros about the business, right? Because you want to like hook them in and be like, wow, I really want to do that. And it ends with, is that something you'd be interested in? And all the time they're like, yes. Or if they say they have heard of the company, then I'll just be like, oh, awesome. Have you ever considered joining, or did you want more info? And they always pick more info, right? Because they're not going to say no without actually like hearing what you're doing. So then I send them that paragraph again. So no matter what, it's going back to that paragraph to like hook them in on like all these pros of doing the business. So when they say yes, then I just say, okay, awesome. How much do you want to work towards making each month? And I just make them tell me their money goal. And then it just says, okay, how much time are you going to put into it? And I just kind of like gauge whether it's accurate, you know, like if the time matches up with the money. But if somebody tells me they want to make like $5,000 a month and they tell me that they'll put like, well, I'll put like a few minutes a day, or like when I can, you know, something that like isn't going to make them $5,000 a month, I tell them that. I'll say, okay, look, we can make that money for you. I did that. And I've helped people on my team do that. but it is going to take time and effort and consistency. And like, you are going to have to put time every day into your business. And I'm just super real with them, because if that scares them away, they weren't going to work their business in the first place, right? You want somebody who knows it's going to take time and consistency, but that income is worth it to them. Those are the people you want to sign up. So it doesn't matter if you have to be like a little bit red with them, right? Like, don't sign somebody up thinking that they're going to make $5,000 a month not doing anything, because they're not going to do anything. You know, like, what's the point, right? So I make sure they understand that, like, we can absolutely hit any goal. Like, there's no goal that they could tell me that I would tell them is too big ever. It could be 10,000. I'd be like, cool, that's only triple diamond. Let's do it. You know, like, I would never tell them that's too much, but I will tell them what they have to do to get there. How much time to make 5,000 a month? Honestly, I pretty much did this full time right from day one. Like, I was so low in a place that, like, I didn't care how much time it took me to get there. Like, I was sneaking in work, like, while she was napping, while she was eating, like, anytime when she was a newborn. Like, it was like all the time. I would stay up late if I had to, get up early if I had to. Like, I didn't care, because I needed that income. Like, I could not live off of maternity leave. So right from day one, I was like hooked. And like, I love doing it. It's not that I have to like force myself to work my business. Like, I freaking love this business. Like, I will work it all day, every day if I have to. But for somebody who like doesn't work all the time, like, I don't know, it's hard to say, because 5,000 a month isn't necessarily a rank, right? That's the thing. Like, you could make any amount of income at any rank. It's just the effort that you put into it. So if you're wanting to make 5,000 a month, I would just go hard with it. Like, just push until you get there.
I'm just going to add to that. It's true. It's not a rank. So the problem with that is that you can't be like, oh, you can get to this rank, because we don't have an average of 5,000. So basically you have to think of a few factors. So say I signed Kaitlyn, and Kaitlyn took off underneath me. She was a firecracker. Like, she just did her thing. And you know, I then signed one other person who wasn't a firecracker, and I had to work a little bit harder with that person. Would I start making a good amount of money per month if my team underneath me was doing great? Yeah, probably. Opposed to someone who I started and I signed 3 people, but they didn't really take off. So it took us longer to start building our team underneath them. That's going to take me a lot longer to hit a 5,000 monthly average, opposed to if I signed Kaitlyn and then Kaitlyn signed Rockstars and we just freaking boom, boom, boom. It happens to some people, but it doesn't happen to everyone. So it's like, you don't really have a correct time. Basically, if someone's going to ask you questions like, how can I make this amount of money? Basically, throw it down to the next rank that's underneath it. So if someone said they wanted to make $5,000 a month, I'd go off of a diamond rank, because even at diamond, I was making $6,000 as a diamond. That was my highest check as a diamond. So that doesn't mean $2,000 monthly average does not mean that's what you're going to make. That's what the average. You could make less than that. So you can't really go off rank. Definitely, like, make sure you're telling people. And this is what I learned from Kaitlyn myself, was when she was like, make sure you're literally telling them exactly what they need to be doing. Because the minute you sign someone and they think they're like, oh yeah, you can do that, no problem. The worst thing you can say to someone is, it's easy. It's not easy by any means. Kaitlyn, when she was talking about this to me like a couple months ago or a month ago, whenever it was, I was like, damn girl, you are right. Because I have told people it's easy. But guess what? There was no easy about it. It's easier now because I've been doing this business for a while. It's easier now because I built a second account. Like, it's easier now, but when I started, I had to put myself back and be like, shit, she was right. It was not easy. So making sure that you're telling people that you're not telling people it's easy. Being realistic, telling them, you know, it could take 4 to 5 hours a day, whether it's 20 minutes here or 1 hour there, to get to diamond. It took 6 months for me. Some people it takes 2. Everybody is different. So I just wanted to chime in on that part a little bit, because sometimes people forget that some people take off and some people don't.
Mm-hmm. And to also add on to that a little bit more, like, it also doesn't matter if you have nobody working on your team. You don't need anybody to get to diamond. Like, I fully believe that. Like, if you are charted for diamond but nobody is working, that does not mean you like wait for somebody on your chart to work, or that like you have to sign the right person to get you there. Like, no. Like, I honestly built myself to diamond. I really did. And I truly believe anybody can do that. Like, you know how much volume you need to get there, so go get it. You know, like, obviously it helps if you have somebody that completely takes off, but they might stop working like down the road. You don't know that they're going to work forever, right? So you can't rely on that. Like, you need to be the person filling your own chart, getting your own ranks, because you can get there a lot quicker by filling it. And like, obviously train your new distributors and like help them run, like be super inspiring and like do it with them. But obviously rely on yourself. Like, you are the only person you know that will 100% keep working the business and like keep going for these next ranks. So do you sign people and put them under? So what I do for stacking, like if I am like charted for a rank and I'm like really close and there's just like some boxes that aren't at 400, I will definitely stack 400 boxes for sure. But if there's somebody in like a higher position that's like, let's say for example, they're like the diamond box or the emerald box, like whatever it is, if they're not working, I would dip down. I will never stack to give somebody a big promotion, but I will stack like 400 boxes to help them get there because like they're on their way there, you know? Hopefully that makes sense. What do I do daily? Okay, so definitely the lifestyle posts, and a big one now is stories. And so by that, I don't just mean like my story, I mean like your Facebook and Instagram stories. I am updating my stories every single hour of every single day. Like, I was setting alarms at first until I got into the habit of knowing. Like, I've done it for so long now that I know, okay, I posted at 1, there needs to be another story by 2. And I just like know every hour there needs to be stories up. Because stories are such a big thing right now. So I'll throw in like a few slides about the business and then do something about like what me and Heidi are doing that day. Heidi's my daughter. So I'll just put in like funny videos of us like doing whatever. Then I'll do like some interacting things, like some polls, some questions. Okay, now I'll slide a few like product things in there. You know, like every single day, you will always find in my stories something about the business, something about at least one product, something interactive, and a video. Whether it's a video of like us just doing something funny, or a video of me talking about the company, or like me using a product. Like, people want to see you, so like always put videos in there no matter what it is. Like, they want to see you and your face and like you actually living your life, because that's what they relate to, right? So stories are absolutely huge right now. Like, people are actually saying that stories are the new timeline because of the way that the algorithm works now. Like, people probably might not even see your post. Like, people seeing your posts now depends on how much you're interacting with them. Depends, like, if people they know are liking and commenting on your post. Like, there are so many things that depend on them seeing your post. But with stories, the latest one that was updated is always number 1 on the top of your news feed. So if you are constantly adding to your story, you're always the first picture that they see when they go to their Facebook or Instagram every time, because you are the most recent person to add to their stories. So that's why I'm always adding to mine. So even if I honestly don't post that often anymore. Like, I do 1 or 2 posts a day. I don't go by the 3 of 3 rule or anything like that. Like, I just post nice, pretty pictures on my timeline, but I do not force it. If I'm not in the mood to post, I won't post. But I'll add to my stories. So it doesn't matter if I didn't post that day, because my story was still active the entire day. There was still product stuff up. There was still business stuff up. There's still videos, you know, like, stories are definitely my main priority right now. Okay, so for teaching new DTs, so we have like a few short videos that just say, like, the first one is just like, welcome to the team. And it just explains, like, I think it tells, I can't remember what exactly is in it, but it just kind of says like my story, like how I got there. And it just asks them like what their why is. And like says, congratulations for joining. Now you need to know like why you're doing this. There's one of like how to go Ruby. They're just very short, simple videos. There's 5 of them. After that, I'm just working with them one-on-one. Like, I will show them how to do host to post. I would give them their first starting post, which I've actually switched up recently to being distributors instead of customers, and it's working really good. So the first post I get them to do now is them saying, I just joined this top earning company, this top earning team in this company for this reason, and they share their why right from the start. And it just says, like, is there anybody else who would want to do this with me and would be interested in earning extra income from their phone? And my new distributors are getting like 5 to 10 comments on these posts. And I just tell my new distributor, like, it's as simple as you need 3 to go Ruby. Just find 3 people that are interested, and they're getting it right from day one, right? So like, we have a month to get their customers, but if they all of a sudden have potential distributors right from day one, well, now they're excited, right? Because now they know like they have people that they can run with and build a team with. So that one's working really good. And
that's freaking amazing. I never thought of that before.
Yeah, I hadn't. It was actually, I'll be honest, we were at Diamond Retreat for Jackie's team, and Amber Parker was there, and it was Amber Parker who brought that up. And I was like, okay, I'm going to test it. So I did, and I used it, and yeah, it works really good.
Okay, I'm going to definitely start doing that. One thing before you move on, I just wanted to touch base on, when you sign a new distributor, you give them, I know what videos you're talking about, the 1 to 5.
Yeah.
After that, do you, like, how often, like, for me, see, I guess what my question is, like, do you work with your people one-on-one for a set time, like a period of time? Are you making them message a 30s list? Are you doing post to post right away? Are you like, what exactly are like the first 4 steps that you do with them for how long once you sign someone?
Okay, so the first thing I do is get them to watch the videos, but I also send them their starting post like right away. And so I just tell them, okay, put this up, and while you're watching the videos, we'll let like the comments build up. And sometimes they do get comments, sometimes they don't, but I just tell them either way, like, it's fine, just like put it up and we'll see. After that, I get them like understanding how to post, so they know like how to do a product post and a lifestyle post. And I just tell them do at least 1 post a day for sure. Like at the start, I don't want to overwhelm them and be like, post all day, every day, you know, so just at least 1 post a day. And then I actually went back to like messaging your friends instead of host to post, because like for a while, I'll never say host to post doesn't work, because it does, but it did slow down for a while for sure. So we went back to messaging. It used to be called hundreds list. I don't know what it's actually called now, but yeah. So I send them a message that just basically says, it just says, hey, like, I'm so excited, I just joined this company, and again shares why they joined, and just says, I'm looking for 4 people to try out one of our top selling products at a huge discount and share your results with me. And it just lists a few, I think for our Thermophyte, Cleanse, Hair, Skin, Nails, and Confianza, I think are my 4. So just gives very few options so that it's not overwhelming. Just gives them a few, and it just says, is that something you'd be interested in? And so we went back to that. Once they're like settled, if they ask if there's anything more they can do, then I'll bring up post to post and like send them a video on how to do it. But I find it keeps them a lot less overwhelmed if you put that in after, when they already know what they're doing, instead of just like messaging their friends list first. Yeah.
Okay, that's perfect. That's exactly what I was wondering. Do you get people to, are you like, hey, do you have Instagram as well? Are you like, hey, why don't you do what you're doing on here on Instagram also? Or do you just kind of try to keep it like super simple? Let's just work on Facebook first and then go from there.
Yeah, to be honest, I just focus on Facebook. If they ever asked how to do Instagram, like, I obviously would help them. I definitely don't bring it up right away though, because a lot of our team actually doesn't use Facebook when they join. Like, they will afterwards, but it's just, I don't know. Facebook is like 99% of my business too. So I don't want to like push something that I know I'm not like killing it at onto somebody else. So I stick to Facebook at first, for sure.
Okay, cool. I see that someone asked, do you message everyone who views your story?
Depends on the story. If it's like a product one and I like feel like I definitely didn't get potentials from it and I feel like I need to like speed things up, I'll definitely message everybody. If it's just like a random story, I won't, because I don't want people to get like annoyed with me messaging them all the time or something. But if it's like, for example, a cleanse one and I got a lot of views, yeah, I will. And I'll just be like, hey, notice you saw this. I'm actually looking for somebody to try this at 40% off and share their results. Is that something you'd want more info on? Like, just keep it super simple, not something that's gonna like overwhelm them or like take time to read or anything. Like, just super simple.
And what would you say to someone who viewed if someone viewed a business post, say it didn't have a poll on it, but it was still a business post and you had a bunch of views on it, would you message them?
Yeah, you definitely could. And what I would say for that is I would just say, hey, I noticed you saw this story. There's actually, what I've been saying is I'm actually looking for somebody to help join this month and go for a $10,000 bonus that's available right now. And I'm looking to help 2 people do this. Have you ever considered joining this with me, or can I give you more info about what I do? And I just ask if they want more info.
So basically, like, just super short and sweet. Like, you're just
always short.
Okay, cool. That's awesome. I like that.
Yeah, and then if they say they want more info, it goes right back to my whole speech that I send to potential distributors. So I'm always keeping it the same, so I know exactly what I'm doing all the time.
Perfect. I like that. And okay, so actually, I have one more question. I don't know if you guys have questions, please put them in the chat. The one thing that comes to my mind, because I watch your page, I follow you on Facebook, but do you often do live videos about your story, or do you think that you just mostly, because I know that you share your story like as a post, because I've gotten you to look over mine being like, is this Kaitlyn approved? Do you think that you do live, like I used to do a lot of live videos about my story and I would get great reviews, but I haven't done it in a while. Do you think that that's something like an income producing activity that you do often, or it's not as popular?
It's not something I do nearly as much as I should, just because it's one thing not a good excuse, but I just get like so nervous about it that I find I like hold myself back from it way too much. But if there's ever something I'm like super fired up about, like if there is a kit on like can't talk. If there is a sale on the kit, or like something big, some sort of sale, or like something that I'm actually so excited about, I will go live and I'll tell my whole story and then end it with like what the promotion is or like what's going on. Like I remember I did that for the $20 kits, or the day that, what did we do? We had a bank appointment and I got a retirement savings set up, and I put in such a huge deposit into that and set up such a big like monthly plan that we maxed out my whole like what I'm allowed to have since the age of 18. So for the last like 5 to 6 years, we completely maxed out what income I'm allowed to have in there. And I was just like so proud of myself. So I went live, told my whole story about how I went from $400 a month to having like my full topped up retirement savings. And I got so much feedback from that. So like I definitely don't do it as often as I should. But if there's ever like a huge milestone that I like know will attract people, I will 100% share my story and then end it with what is new that happened.
That's awesome. That's a great story. Oh my God. I might have to watch that video. I don't think I okay. Well, you honestly, like, you've answered all my questions. I love your story. I love how you do business. I like that you are super real when it comes to like being honest with people, because you know, it's not that we have a bad rep for this, but I have heard it 100 times, is that people sign up and either they don't have the leadership, they were told something different, you know, they were kind of not led to success because they thought that they had to do like not as much work type thing. So like, honestly, your story and your tips are absolutely amazing. I really appreciate your time, Kaitlyn. Did anyone have any other questions before we let her go? Because I know she's a busy girl. Do you feel certain times of the day gets more responses or views for posts from
that's a good question, actually. If it's like for most posts, I don't really care. The only one I have a specific time for is if I'm going to do a host to post status. So if I am going to do like an interactive one where I want lots of comments to get host to posts up, I will only do it in the evening. And I actually plan out like what day I'm going to plan. Like I only let myself post about host to post 3 times a month. So the start of the month, the middle of the month, and the end of the month. And I will only do it in an evening when I know people are home from work, they're on their phones. And even though I only post about it 3 times a month, I get about 100 host to post up each time because I plan for like that time. It works really well.
Awesome.
Yeah. And it works because then I'll say like, okay, this is what this month's giveaway is at the start of the month. And then middle of the month, I'll be like, hey, the month is halfway over. Like you only have like a week or 2 left to get in on this giveaway. And then I'll do it on like the second last day of the month and be like, hey, very last chance, this deal ends tomorrow. Who wants in? So every time it's just kind of like makes it seem really rushed, or they're like just finding out, right? So it's not me posting about it every day and like losing interaction on it. I like very much limit when I let myself talk about it. So it works really well.
That's awesome. And so if you were to post at nighttime, you let the comments roll, and then tomorrow, the next day, that would be like your first like big task.
Yeah, like I'll do a few for sure, like that night, like as they roll in. But once it gets overwhelming and there's a ton of comments, I do like put it aside and I'll reply back to them and do it again the next morning, because then I'm bumping it with my own replies saying messaged you. And those posts, I kid you not, probably go for a week sometimes, because I space out like when I message them about it, and I'll reply to all the comments. So
okay, that's freaking amazing. I just had one last thing pop in your leadership. What makes me think of this question, I'm going to end this Zoom with this, is your leadership. I find it's just absolutely amazing. I think you're a ray of sunshine. So for me, I'm not a ray of sunshine all the time, but I would like to be. So with your leadership, what do you think, like, I know that people on here right now, I see a lot of Ruby Plus for sure. I do see some diamonds. I see some new DTs. I see people going diamond. So what would your biggest tip to them be in regards to leadership? Because I know that, summertime, it's not that it's a dead time by any means, but I know that volumes do drop in summer, and that they have for people on this Zoom, especially. What would be your leadership tip to them when it comes to getting their teams geared up, getting their teams excited, what are some things that you do for your team as a leader to, bring them together and really rally?
Mm-hmm. Okay. This topic actually gets me so fired up. I've done like so many live posts this summer, because it's so true. Like, summer can either be hit or a big miss. And this is what I tell my team all the time. So everyone is like doing the same things in summer, right? Like, even if you're a distributor, like, you still want to go camping. Like, you want to go do all the fun stuff that everybody else is doing. And so what I tell my team is, okay, do it. But remember that now you want to post about it. So tell people, okay, I'm out camping and still making money, or I'm at the pool still making money. But if you put your business aside because you're like, well, I want to go do those things. Well, now, like, sure, you can go do these things, but your income is going to drop. Like, it just is, when you could be using those things to inspire everybody else that's not in the business. Because there are people that are forced to go to work in summer, that are sitting inside at these jobs that they don't want to be at. And if you're posting telling them like you're freaking camping, making money, like, yeah, they're going to want what you got. So you can either explode your business in the summer, like, yeah, volumes drop, like, it is a bit of a slower time, but the amount of potential distributors I have gotten this summer, even though like they're not signing as quickly, is unreal. Like, I'm not exaggerating when I'm telling you that between host to post and just telling my story, I have over 200 potential distributors this month alone in the past week and a half. So go do all those fun summer things. Like, absolutely have the best time ever, but use it and gear it towards the people who are stuck doing things that they don't want to do in summer. Like, relate all your posts to that, being like, I am so glad I'm not locked inside an office job, or like, just talk about everything that you get to do while making money. And so that's just what I like preach to my team, like, so often, like, go right ahead and do all of that. But like, do not forget about your business, because those people that do forget about their business, not only are they not going to make that much money in the future, like, it does, like, people do notice the consistency. Like,
Yes.
yeah, one thing I always tell my team is the one day you don't post, the person you have been talking to and like warming up, they're going to see somebody else post that day, and they're going to go sign up with that person just because you didn't.
Yes, thank you. That is so true. It's so freaking true. Seriously. Crazy.
Yeah.
Kaitlyn, seriously, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. I know I've been bugging you for this Zoom, girl. Got all of your little details, so I feel like I'm good to go. So everyone, I'm going to have this recorded for her team and ours, so I will put it up to YouTube and I'll share it. Have a good night, everyone.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
Bye.